Hello everybody. Once again, I'm down here in the front storage compartment modifying our RV. A job that's never done. Anyway, what we're doing is we're going to have our refrigerator modified so that it is 12 volt dual compressor. And we're going to get rid of the absorption fridge and the propane capability. It'll be strictly 12 volts dual compressor. We're having that done at JC Refrigeration up in Shipshewana. What I'm doing right now is I'm running the new cable for the 12 volts for the refrigerator. It has to be like a number 10 wire. So I'm running a new wire that is 10 gauge, positive and negative. I'm going to run it up to the refrigerator compartment for the new fridge conversion. What I'm doing right now is running this wire. So let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, a long time ago, I showed you my conversion to lithium batteries. And here's all the wiring for that. Now, down here in this corner was a plastic plug, which leads down into the undercarriage. And so what I've done is I pulled that plug out, fished the wire through, drilled a hole in it, and I ran the wire through there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put some corrugated tubing over it or not, but anyway, I'm going to run it up the side of this compartment across the top where these other wires are running, and then down into those bus bars over there. Here's the cable I'm using. It's a marine grade cable. You can see it there, marine wire, waterproof. It's insulated. And then you got the red and black coming out there in both 10 gauge wires. So that's the cable I'm running. And I started taking the coroplast down, the plastic covering underneath the RV, and I'm tucking the wire up in there and then reconnecting the coroplast. So let me show you that. Okay, down underneath it here, you see those screws going up through the coroplast, the plastic sheeting. And then what I'm doing is taking this cable, shoving it inside the coroplast, and then I'm rescrewing it down. So I've got to get around the sewer pipe down there. But it's just not going to be too bad of an issue. But I'm going to get around it down there and get down to the slide where the refrigerator is located, and I'll show you that. Hey, okay, I got the power line run down along. This is the power line. That's the gas line for the refrigerator and the stove. And so I've got it coming out here now. I just got to run it up there and go through the floor and up through the floor where the refrigerator is. And I run into a problem is my drill bits aren't long enough to get all the way through the floor. So I've got to come up with plan B So let's see what we can do. Okay. Excuse me, I got the hole successfully drilled. Here's where the gas line comes up from underneath. So I got the hole drilled through this floor and through the second floor. Got the cable pulled up through there. And just had to go get me a longer drill bit. And you can see right there, and then I'll clamp it to the bottom side of the slide. Okay, you got the wire in there, left them plenty to hook into the new compressors. Caulk the hole up here and down below, keep bugs out of there. So this is pretty much done. So now I gotta finish the front in the front storage compartment. Now up in front, continuing on, it comes up out of that plastic plug down there. I've used corrugated tubing up the wall, just so anything that happens to get pushed against it won't damage the wire. It's double insulated, but I'm not taking no chances. I'm going to come across here. I'm going to come across here and then with zip tie downs, screw downs, and then plug into the bus bars. Howdy. It's the next day. I'm working on this refrigerator modification. And it dawned on me that I didn't tell you why we were doing it. What we have right now is an absorption refrigerator. It's either propane or 110 volts AC. It's a Dometic 1350. And in the hot summer and humid temperature, we struggled to keep the thing at 35 degrees or below. A lot of times it's up around 40. So it's not very good. We keep battery operated fans inside the refrigerator to circulate the air among, the stuff, the groceries that's in the refrigerator, and it helps. But and it's raining a little bit. Like I said, we keep fans, battery operated fans, and it helps to keep the temperature down. But during the hot summer months and humid temperatures, we just cannot keep the refrigerator cool enough. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take it up to Shipshewana to JC Refrigeration. And they're going to take the whole back off the refrigerator and put a whole new back on it, which is a dual compressor, 12 volts only. And that was the reason why I did the lithium battery upgrade to 2 batteries, 200 amp hours, is to help hold the battery. Now, when we're traveling down the road, we can have the refrigerator running because it runs on 12 volts. And the truck will help keep it supplied while we're going down the highway. So it has very good reviews. JC Refrigeration does. A lot of people have done the conversion and they love it. So we're going to get it done in August. We just take it up there to their factory. They can remove the refrigerator. They can take the back off of it, put the whole new guts in it, and we'll have separate temperature controls for the freezer portion and the refrigerator portion. So that's why we're doing it. And so it takes a number 10 gauge wire to operate the fridge. And the original wiring that's in there that operated the 12 volt solenoids for the propane valves was a smaller wire. And so that's why you got to put a 10 gauge wire in there, because the compressors take a lot of amps. Well, not a lot, but it takes more than what the original wiring can handle. So you can let them do it. They'll put all new 10 gauge wire in there, but it's like $150. And so that's why I'm doing it myself. And I know how it's run. and I've got it fused right at the bus bars, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So that's why we're doing this conversion. So I've got the wire all pulled to the refrigerator compartment, and I've looped a bunch of wire in there so that they have plenty to hook up. I've run it underneath the RV, up inside the undercovering, what's called the coroplast, to protect the wire. I've put convoluted tubing on it where the wire is exposed to the outside air, to protect it as much as I can. So I've got all that done. I just need to hook in the final wires to the bus bars, and I'm going to leave the fuse out of it so that the cable is not energized. And all they'll have to do is just, when they get the refrigerator done and set back in place, all they have to do is hook up the wires, put the fuse in, and we're off and running. So I thought I would do it myself instead of spending another $150 to let them do it. So that's why we're doing it. That's why I'm doing the wiring. So I'm taking a break because my back is killing me up in this forward compartment, stretching up in there. But I killed the 12 volts a while ago and hooked in the lead wire to the positive bus bar. And like I said, I left the fuse out of it, so the cable's not energized. All I got to do now is just hook up the ground wire, put a couple more tie straps on it, and we'll be done. So I was hoping to get this done before it started raining, but it's sprinkling rain right now. So I'm up under the nose of this thing, crawling around on my knees. Oh man, I'm telling you, when you get old, it just sucks, you know. I'll be 69 this year, and I'm telling you, everything hurts more every day. Anyway, that's why we're doing it. You see what we're doing, and I'll get you up to date on the rest of it. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Here's the cable coming down. Here's the fuse holder, and it's tied into the positive bus bar right there. Down here is the negative wire, and it's tied into the negative bus bar right there. Always remember, when you're working on the power of any kind, whether it's AC power or DC power, de-energize your circuits. Make doggone sure you've got no power on there before you start working on it. I'm gonna put some tape on this thing with a label, JC Refrigeration, so the guys will know which wires go under this cable. So and I'll go through it with them. All they'll have to do is just pop in this fuse right there when they get done hooking everything up, and then we'll be ready to go. So, and then they'll put the proper gauge fuse in there, but it's all done. All the wiring is in. And so another project completed. All we have to do is get up there, have them do the conversion, and we're ready to go. So thanks for hanging in there with me with us. Why we're doing it, how we're doing it, that kind of thing. So hang on a minute and I'll sign out. Okay, another job done. I just made a label and put on the wire and labeled it JC Fridge. I'll run the guys through it whenever we get up there so they'll know how I wired it up. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and another modification done to our rig, and why. Some of you guys like to see the modifications and how to do them. Others of you don't care. But we'll bring you some other videos once we get up to Shipshawana and a lot of the Amish places. And we brought you one video when we were up there at Bontrager's RV surplus store. What an amazing place that is. I'm making a list of stuff that we're going to look for next time we go up there, so I don't forget anything. But we'll bring you some other videos on places that we go, some museums and things like that. But here's another how-to video on why and how to go about doing it. But just be safe when you're modifying stuff. Just like I said, when you're working on electrical stuff, just make sure your circuits are de-energized. Tammy was a little annoyed because I shut off her air conditioning. The thermostats run on 12 volts, so they shut off when I killed the power. So, another job done. Thanks for tuning in with us, guys. Thanks for hanging around with us, and we appreciate it. As always, our channel is non-profit, so just the life and times of an old couple, full-timing RVing, having a great time. So, thanks for joining us. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.